Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our JustNoMil. In today's episode, my wedding today almost ended in my child's tragic death. Long. Mill gets upset baby isn't in pants. Mill alluded to accessing my medical records. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My wedding today almost ended in my child's tragic death. Long. My mother-in-law is mostly a just yes. There has been a few instances where she's done something which has really blown me away though. It's mostly her trying to make herself be the most important in situations that are significant to my partner and I. A quick example would be when we were going to announce the gender of our son before he was born, and she tried to insist that she had to know first. When my partner and I expressed that we would like to tell all of the family who happened to be together at her house at the time, with her sister and nephew, my partner's auntie and cousin, she kept trying to pull us aside and force us to tell her first and separately until my partner blurted it out loudly enough for everyone to hear. This was followed by sulking and be**ching all night, which got worse as she drowned her sorrows for not being treated like a grandmother. Her special moment was stolen and shared with other people, and eventuated in her being abusive and storming off to bed because she was obviously not important enough. She has done this sort of thing when it's significant, and she is not treated with full unwarranted appreciation. Most of the time we rarely see her, but when we do, she will bring my child presents, take photos, and leave pretty quickly. From the photos and stories she posts on social media, it gives a far different impression of a doting, playful, and caring relationship compared to the rather brief and almost clinical reality. I think that paints the picture. On with the story. Some of it is cross-posted from our/casual conversation. Today I got married. Everything was very casual and my parents-in-law attended as well as my sibling and my best friend. Our 2-year-old son was being looked after by my in-laws, my mother-in-law and her partner. As we were leaving, we were stopped and congratulated, and my in-laws started going through their bags in search of their phones. I'd like to note that I had asked if she was okay watching him, and she assured me she was happy to hold him for us since just married. Even turned down my sister who offered to hold him because she wanted time with her grandson. It is well known that he is a runner and at an age where he is unaware of his surroundings. She put him down and he ran for the door, which was in the city on an incredibly busy main road. By the time anyone noticed he was gone, it was too late and he was far enough away that none of us could catch him. My sibling and I screamed as loud as we could and sprinted, but we were still too far to stop him from stepping on the road. Just by chance, a mother walking by with her child heard our screams and caught him just as he was about to take another step into oncoming traffic. I burst into tears and scooped him up in my arms. All my MIL could say about it was, he just runs so fast, and nothing actually happened. There's no reason to start crying. I was livid, couldn't even look at her. She tried to downplay the situation and share the blame, saying stuff like, "It was obvious I was looking for my phone. Someone else could have watched him for 2 seconds. Proceeded to buy us coffee and bailed with some bullshit excuse of a hair appointment, even though we had plans to get food after the wedding anyway. I have no words for how grateful and relieved I am. So many other people saw, but there was no one close enough to stop him, and I would be writing a very different post if it had not been for that amazing woman. Please learn from my incredibly lucky mistake and make sure your children are actually being looked after and keep a close on them 100%, especially in public." The happiest day of my life very closely turned into the worst. I bought my child a harness which I am going to 100% use in public from here on. I'm feeling that the only way to move forward is to ensure that they only have supervised visits with him from here on. Once I asked her to watch him when I had to attend an appointment with my partner, and she stated jokingly that she was worried he would fall in a creek and drown because she would be too busy to watch him. They live next to a creek, but it's away from their house. The comment made me uncomfortable, and now I feel that my child would be in significant danger in her care at any time. Am I overreacting? Thanks if you bothered to read this. I had to get it off my chest, especially since she messaged my partner before saying my sister, and I should have been paying attention to him while she checked her phone. Didn't say anything to us, plus we were way behind her. My partner is holding our newborn at the time and on. Why saw the yelling and sprinting part? Edit. There's no way I'll be risking my son's life by letting her take of him ever again. I feel so lucky and blessed that my son is still alive and that I actually have a chance to do this. I will not make the same mistake twice. It has come to my attention that my mill is not a Justice. I think I meant more that she doesn't pull the selfish crap very often, but as some of you have pointed out, it's actually mostly due to lack of opportunity. We'll be having a big talk with DH today about shutting down any inevitable future behavior. Thank you all so much. It's meant a lot to me to be able to get this out and be able to break down the situation and the action required for my child, Ran's safety as well as my sanity. Her response is shitty and tells you all you need to know. Classic Darvo. She wasn't even remotely concerned about your child or remorseful. Congratulations on your wedding. Sorry, but I'm new to this community. What's a Darvo? It really concerned me that there was no remorse. My eldest child asked me if 2-year-old just almost died. Why aren't Mill and Stepphil upset? Thank you for the congratulations. It was an incredibly long engagement. We had a small ceremony years ago. It was only now we had gotten around to the paperwork side of things. It's not an overreaction. She was responsible for watching him, had taken over that responsibility from you, your partner, and even your sister. Looking at her phone is a poor excuse for her actions prior to what very nearly happened. Don't let her downplay it or rug sweep later on. She has proven that you cannot trust her to be capable of watching your children, especially in a busy, public setting. For the sake of your children, refuse any offers from her to watch them for you if you are not fully present. I am certainly feeling that supervised visits are the only way to move forward. I feel a bit lame for saying this, but I am feeling very traumatized about this. I keep bursting out crying whenever I replay the situation in my head and how close it was. She's a cunt of the highest order, and I don't think she deserves a nanosecond with your children in the future. What in the world does your husband say about this? Because my partner didn't see as they were attending to our newborn. Their perspective is that someone should have been watching our child since there were 6 adults present. So I guess, doesn't blame anyone or blames everyone? Is fully aware and frustrated about the past MIL behaviors though. Mill gets upset baby isn't in pants. Anyone else's Mill makes snide comments when the baby is only in a diaper and a top? She has told me to go put pants on the baby before. She's here now and I purposefully didn't even button the onsie, short sleeve, no pants, because I wanted to see if I was crazy. This morning my husband got baby dressed and she started making comments about, we all have clothes on now. So it's not in my head. I feel like Meghan Markle on that Zoom call a while back. Such a weird thing to obsess over. Obviously baby has pants when we go out. Is this a boomer thing? A classist thing? I did not react because I'm gray rocking for the most part to get through the visit. Edit. Not sure why I can't reply. I don't post usually, so maybe I messed something up. A few people asked about the Meghan Markle thing. She did a Zoom with Archie where he was in a onsie without pants. I remember she got a lot of social media hate and there was one of those nasty editorials in the Daily Mail that mentioned it. Can't find it now. But it always stuck with me for some reason. Like, can't be bothered to put pants on your baby. Must be a terrible mother type thing. I'm a boomer and it's my opinion that knees are easier to wash than pants, not to mention it's cooler on hot days. Just a control thing, I'd say. Normal people don't try to dictate how anyone else raises their kids, even family. My mother knows better than to tell me what to do with my child. Unfortunately, Emile has a lot to learn. Yet, my kids just wore diapers, cloth, in the hot summer at home. The girls wore thin little sundresses I made, usually from cut-down clothes from the thrift stores. My son wore Buster Brown shorts and t-shirts passed down from who knows how many cousins. I sure wasn't concerned about name-brand clothes because I was more concerned about what I was going to have to cook for us. Those days may return someday, and make do will be the thing to do. Don't sweat what that Emile says anymore. Her mother probably just dressed her in a diaper only back in the day. Boomer, I believe. My ex was like that. Immediately get up and get dressed. I'ma lounge in my pajamas until it's time to shower and change for bed at the end of the day person if I'm not leaving for any reason. No reason to be dressed. Not going anywhere. No plans. He would be dressed, with shoes on, for the entire day. He absolutely expected me to comply, but was always unable to provide a specific reason why I should. Also gets up at the butt crack of dawn even if he just moved to the couch and napped there until 10 a.m. Why? I'm comfortable sleeping in my overly expensive bed until I'm fully rested, in my pajamas. You're right, Emile. We're not up for visitors right now, so sorry to cut this short. Bye. Every time until she stops being a pain in the arse. Mill alluded to accessing my medical records. So I want to take the appropriate steps here without being overkill. Just some crucial background information needed. My husband and his mom have been having relationship issues. They had been going to therapy, and one of the boundaries was that she could not ask about the kids until their relationship issues were resolved. This is something they all three agreed upon. Himself, the therapist, Emile. So she ended therapy because he wouldn't tell her about the baby that we just had in January. The reason why I felt need to provide all of this backstory is because Emile works at the health organization that I gave birth at. She used to work at the hospital, but now she works across the street at one of their patient therapy centers. Emile made this statement to my husband verbatim. You know, there's other ways to find out what her name is and what she looks like. We're just being polite by letting it come from you. I have other ways of finding out that information. Your wife gave birth at the hospital I work at. Now, of course, Monday, I called the hospital and I didn't give them too much detail. I just tried to see the validity of this claim. I ended up talking to someone at the administrative office and they asked me to provide her first and last name to see if there was any validity to that threat, and in fact, there was because of her time spent at the hospital. Even though she is no longer working in labor and delivery, she can access my records and my daughter records. So up the chain it goes. The hospital's privacy officer got in contact with me and reiterated what the lady in the front said, saying that yes, this person actually can go in and access your records, even though they're not supposed to, because of the credentials she has, and that me saying something about the situation was good because otherwise there would have been no reason for them to audit. So they told me that they would audit my medical file and my child's medical file to see who has been in there, and if they find out that she's been in there or anybody in the physical therapy office, that they would be interviewed and investigated as to why they were looking at a patient's record that they give no care to and are not a provider to. Really hope she didn't, because this could potentially cause a job loss. However, I'm still freaked out. How can I advocate for myself even if they don't find anything? I really believe that that would be best for everyone involved, because I wouldn't want something like job loss to happen to her. But I take her threats seriously. She is definitely that kind of person. Now, with her making a threat like this, how do I move forward? Or what should I be asking them if they don't find anything? Like, how can I prevent her from illegally looking in the future? My thought process was, well, what if she looks 3 months from now? I think I would seriously be wasting everyone's time and resources if I called and asked them to do this again, duh. Plus, not too much validity at that point. But I really want to safeguard my information and my child's information, and I know I'm entitled to this through HIPAA and PHI. Sweetie, if she loses her job, it's not because of you. It's because she's a dumbass. Such a dumb move to state you're considering doing a thing that is traceable and will get you quickly fired. From what I remember working as an RN in a huge medical facility with sites all over the place, it is fairly simply for the IT department to look at files to see who accessed them. Anyone working in patient care with that patient has access to chart, for example, on that patient. There is no looking around at patient charts because you think you know that person. That is grounds for dismissal, and they will fire her because that corporation does not want you to sue them. Just give IT a heads up, and they will take it from there. Many times, the IT department will do this type of scan routinely. There will be no excuse for her to look up you or your baby unless she is a care provider. If she has looked you up, her footprint is there. If she has asked someone else to look you up, that person's footprint is there, and that person will be fired. It's that simple. I am a privacy officer at a small organization with a hospital and various other practices. Unfortunately, this happens more than most people realize. I frequently work with all the departments to ensure all employees are up to speed on HIPAA requirements and often send friendly reminders. Is it possible she's blowing smoke? Absolutely. However, it is my job to protect our patients' information, so if someone repeatedly has this concern, I audit as many times as necessary. Also, some medical record systems have a VIP alert process that can automatically trigger an audit or deny access if necessary. These extra built-ins are there for a reason. All healthcare workers know what they can and cannot access. It's BS when they claim otherwise. I know you don't want her to lose her job, but if she accessed or asked someone else to, without your permission, that is 100% on her. You have done nothing wrong. Most hospitals have the option to make your medical records private. In order to access your records, your MIL, or anyone else would have to go through another step acknowledging that she has a legitimate reason to access the records. You should be able to request this setting. If she went into your medical records, she needs to be fired. If she'll do it to you, then she'll do it to someone else. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.